Wonka. It was surprisingly good. Not better than Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but it was fun. Wonka is not the same as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It goes into depth about Wonka and his life before. And this is clearly a different adaptation from the Gene Wilder one that we have with the original. And you can tell Timothée Chalamet tries to do his best to be Wonka, but I don't think he lives up as close as the originals. And even though he does a good job, this movie is a fun time, but it's not like the originals, and it does feel like it's a little different, and you can tell there's a whole different version of that Wonka character. First, let's start with the plot. As you can tell, it's clearly different than Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in the sense that this is just Wonka's past, and you can see the ideas, you can see some of the characters forming, but it's not there yet, and it does do a good job at forming characters that we do care about in the sense that it's interesting to see what happens with this Wonka, who's a lot more energetic, more happy, and makes you wonder how he would end up becoming the Wonka and Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, making you kind of want a sequel. And the good thing is, I'm somebody who doesn't like musicals. While watching this movie, I was okay with it. So I think that's a good start for a movie like this, especially a musical. If you're not too big of it does a good mix. You don't really end up like grudging or cringing when it's too much. It has a good balance of it. They are fun songs. It goes with the story and it works. The world is imaginative. The story is new. It has characters like the villains. It has to do with basically Wonka's going to make his chocolate empire, basically. You can say this is where it all starts, this is where he wants to do it. And he's basically fighting the monopoly of chocolate in this universe. And their characters are really fun. They all are cartoony and it works with the universe they've built. Now, when we're talking about the movie, my few problems I do notice. First, let's start with the acting. I think that Timothée Chalamet did a good job as Wonka when it comes to emotional scenes. You care for him. It's a journey and the characters around them are fun. Would you like to see more of them? Yeah, so I think that's definitely a good sign. But when it comes to the acting, I think of Timothée Chalamet and I forget the main girl, little girl, I think they did a good job. But when it came to being energetic or a bit wild, like Gene Wilder's or the characters are in Chocolate Factory, even how Charlie gets like this fresh excitement in his face, you can tell they're acting in this movie in the sense that it doesn't come off as organic. You can tell he's trying to be this energetic character, this oh my god character, where he's good in the emotional scenes, but when he starts to be weird and wonky like Willy Wonka, in the sense that oh my god, there's a hullabaloo, or he's got an idea. It doesn't work for him. You can tell he's trying, but it's just not the same, especially if you've seen it. Maybe if you haven't seen the original movies, you would have enjoyed it, but the fact that you know how Gene Wilder did it, the fact that you know how even the previous Wonkas, Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka, I'm sorry, it's a guilty pleasure watch. I still enjoyed it. It's a part of my childhood. Maybe that's why I like it. But that doesn't mean I didn't like Timothée Chalamet. I think for his own character, it was nice. It was just a little weird. You could tell he wants to throw in the sprinkles of the old Wonkas, but it's not there. The story is engaging, and I did watch a few reviews after I watched the movie, and I think it depends on where you are at. I think everybody wholeheartedly agrees this was a fun movie. The colors, the visuals, they're all vibrant and fun. You can see that the story does have like a plotline that's going somewhere. It does slow down, it does take a few turns with emotions and maybe some twists, but I think it fits with it. I think I enjoyed it throughout. I didn't really fall off where I was like kind of bored in the film. It had a good mellow out story. You can see how Wonka's rising up, how he's talking to these other characters, how he's like, I want to get through this chocolate, and he's fun. You enjoy it throughout. Some things that I do think that when you're watching this movie, you will notice is particular towards the end when you do see it. I'm not going to say what scene or what happened, or even towards the beginning. You see Wonka and some of these characters are trying to have emotional scenes, yet it doesn't feel like it's fully being delivered. You're watching it, but the scene doesn't have that atmosphere. They kind of bring it onto you, and I don't think the scenes, like the sad scenes, hit as much as they should. You're kind of just like, oh, okay, that can be a really touching moment, but it wasn't shown that way. Otherwise, when it comes to the fun parts, it is very fun. So it does have a mixed bag of what you like and what you don't like. But overall, it does feel like a fun Christmas movie. It does feel like a movie that people will watch as a Willy Wonka film. It seems like a fun holiday Christmas movie. And the best thing, or the most important thing I think for this movie was, it made me want to see a sequel. It made me want to see this Wonka character that's very energetic, very fun. Because towards the end of the movie, without spoilers, he's a fun character. He loves making chocolate. So seeing this character with his emotional bonds with everybody, being a good guy, become into the Willy Wonka from Chocolate Factory, where he's kind of grudging, a bit stern, even though he does show his fun side, he's kind of cynical in that movie, which makes you think, how does this Wonka get there? Because to be honest, the elements are there, but something bad would have to happen. Besides the retirement aspect, I could see it going, but it can also be a fun journey to watch. So I think that's what gives this movie really points for me. So I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I think it's worth a watch. It's fun. It's a musical. Go watch it with your family, which is important because it's Christmas time, right? That's the type of movie you're looking for. Tell me what you thought about it. If you enjoyed this review or have any comments, tell me. And also, I appreciate anybody watching. Like, follow, subscribe, and thank you guys.
No!